Hello guys, Brad here again, and right now I thought I would do a fun little rant slash discussion video about political correctness in the fragrance community. I thought this would be fun to do because I think all of us have these sort of expressions that we hear every now and then that kind of get under our skin because they come across as inappropriate or politically incorrect. So I came up with 6 different ones, and hopefully, after the video is over, people can maybe chime in and put in some other ones that I may have overlooked here. The first one I want to talk about is niche quality, and I think niche quality is a perfect example of a politically incorrect term because it basically implies that anything niche is great, anything designer is inferior, and I think it's safe to say that that is not an accurate presumption to make. There are great niche, there are bad niche, there are great designer, there are bad designer. There's no real connection between quality and whether or not niche or designer is in the mix. So that was my first one. The second one, I guess more of a personal thing here with me, is something that seems to be coming up as of late: the old reviewer versus new reviewer thing. The implication seems to be that old reviewers, maybe their taste is kind of stale or outdated, and the new reviewers, they're more fresh and exciting or whatever. My take is this. First of all, I think every reviewer should be judged on face value alone, not on how long they've been in the community. I think a great example of that is, I think back to guys like Christo and Isaac. When they first started doing their fragrance channels, I think it was evident right away that these guys had an idea what they were talking about. It wasn't like they just walked into a fragrance store the day before and decided to start doing videos. And the same applies with older reviewers. You could be reviewing for years and still not really know what you're talking about, or you could be reviewing for years and be just a masterful reviewer. So you can't really use experience and just group everybody as old versus new. I would say try to identify taste with the reviewers that seem to align with your taste and go from there. Third one is one that's kind of interesting. The panty dropper expression is sort of demeaning to women, I think, because it basically implies that women would actually succumb against their wishes to having sex just because of a fragrance that you wear. And I think that's kind of untrue. I think a woman's probably going to make that decision before she even smells you, and to say otherwise, it's really kind of sleazy, I think. Of course, people know what you mean when you say panty dropper, but I think the connotation can be taken the wrong way. Another one, number 4, cologne and perfume. Now, these words are gender neutral terms, but they're not always used that way. I know when I first started doing my channel, I would always say, today I want to talk about a cologne, and someone pointed out, it's not really cologne, you're talking about a fragrance. Cologne is a strength. Perfume is a stronger strength than the toilette, which is stronger than a cologne. So think of cologne and perfume as the strength of the oil in the fragrance, and not all perfume is for girls and cologne is for guys. Another one that I came up with is generic, and I really get a little bit irked when I hear that word sometimes. If you say something smells generic, that basically means it smells like a dozen other things. So if you say something smells generic, you better have some idea of what fragrances you're saying that it smells similar to, or otherwise the word might not apply to that actual fragrance. I think a lot of times people talk about cool water smelling generic, or something like that. So what does it actually smell like to you besides cool water? So let us know. And the last one I have here is hype and hype train. I think we all know what I'm talking about here. People say, well, he's hyping a fragrance. So I think the word hype has sort of a negative connotation. When you say hype, you're implying that the reviewer is not really liking that fragrance, that he's basically just trying to make a name for himself by saying good things about a fragrance that's really not as good as it is. And then the hype train basically means the rest of the community is basically just the blind following the blind. So that's a bit offensive as well, because you got the conductor, the hyper, and then you got the hype train, which is the rest of us jumping on that box car and going along for the ride. So yeah, I find that a little bit politically incorrect as well. So let me know what you guys think is politically incorrect or correct in the fragrance community. I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.